Hello farmers and welcome back to American Falls. Month of July is here and currently I am doing a plowing contract. Well, I'm finishing up the plowing contract. I've been doing fertilizing contracts. Frank Jr.'s been over here plowing away. So a couple things have gone on since last episode. I have deactivated the forage harvesting contracts just because as harvest season's coming up, I was getting a boatload of forage harvesting contracts when I'd rather just get the harvesting contracts at this point. I was kind of hoping the foraging contracts would just be like for corn or maybe for grass a little bit, but it's almost like every contract coming up for harvesting is going right to forage harvesting. So I deactivated that. Meanwhile, as I got done with the fertilizing contracts and Frank Jr. was over here plowing up this field here, I was kind of doing the farm manager thing, going around the map, looking at the future of what I want to do here on American Falls. We do know that I want to buy the farmyard with the pigs in it, and it'll come with the chickens as well. That's going to cost us $250,000, so currently we sit $120,000 short of being able to buy that. But that's going to get a little bit better here in just a second, because this contract does pay like 20-some-odd thousand, and I got a fertilizing contract I have not collected on yet. So we're going to be about $100,000 shy of being able to get that yard currently. And then I was looking at, okay, what piece of land would I want to buy first? And then I started realizing that the land around here is not the cheapest. Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of East Vineland a little bit. So, yikes. Yeah, after we buy the farmyard, we're not going to have any farm fields to have on our own for a while. So I got to find ways to make some side money. I think putting down some greenhouses will be the best way. Am I not done with this contract by now? I thought I was very close, unless I missed it. Oh, we are done. So $4,697 for the fertilizing contract. We'll collect on that. And this field here, almost $23,000. We're going to collect on that and be all set. So there we go, $162,000. So that's not too bad. Actually, that's pretty darn good. So yeah, another $90,000 and we'll have ourselves a farmyard. Now, the one thing with the farmyard, it doesn't come with, well, it does have a silo on it, but that's for making TMR, total mixed rations for cows. We'll probably sell that silo once we own the property. I will get like 30 grand for it, and then I'll put down a different silo. Hopefully I can find one kind of cheap that can go on down so we can put some grain into it. That would be pretty darn good, because we're going to need that for the pigs in the future. So, yeah, trying to speed up these series a little bit. I realize some people don't like watching me do contracts all the time, which is kind of interesting because it still is farming. So, yeah, but either way, I understand it. You probably want to see me working on our own stuff. So we're kind of, I'm taking this route right here. This is the property to the right that we'll be buying. It's part of it, but that field right there is not. The field to our left is not. It's kind of weird shaped piece of land. I thought about selling this building when we bought the property, but I realized that building there is considered the chicken pen, so can't sell that. And I don't want to sell any of the sheds at all. So if we come down over here, yeah, this silo is kind of interesting that a lot of the farmyards have the fermenting silos on it. And I don't plan on having cows in this series, but like I said, I don't really have any set plans for this series. But there are so many TMR silos around that when we buy the cow barn, or buy the property where the cow barn is, it has one of these anyway. So we'll probably sell that silo and that'll help pay for another silo. But we got plenty of sheds here. So won't have to, put down any sheds. I will have to put down like a little bit of a tiny house for us to live into, because right now I currently live in a rented trailer. And all through here, we do have these trees. I guess I could cut down the trees and go sell them, but I'd rather not. But, possibly we could just go ahead and put some greenhouses down there in the future. But first, we got to be able to afford the property. So, as we can currently see for contracts, that's the wrong button. Not much going on here. We got a cultivating job. I could do a harvesting contract for potatoes, which looks very good, but then you know how those contracts go. Someone asked why I wasn't doing like a weeding contract. I don't know if it's the same one that you were mentioning. Yeah, it looks good when it pays $2,000, but I don't have any weeding equipment, so I'll have to borrow it. and borrowing it will cost us $1,360. So basically, I'm making $600 to weed a field, and that field is kind of on the big side. So yeah, right now I'm just looking for plowing contracts, fertilizing contracts, and pretty soon here, harvesting contracts. So I'm going to head on back home. I think I am done here for the month of July. Not much else to do currently. I'm going to fast forward some time, but if any contracts pop up that we can do, we'll go ahead and collect them. But I think we'll be moving on to the month of August here, and hopefully some of these harvesting contracts will come on up, and we can start making some money, not just on the contracts, but any extra grain that we get out the fields, we can collect on that as well. Well, August is here, and this is kind of interesting. I fertilized this field last month. That was one of the contracts I did, and now it's for a plowing contract. I'm like, what? Why not harvesting? Apparently the farmer didn't want to harvest the crop. I'm not too sure. Whatever. We'll go ahead and get a worker to start plowing this field on up. Let's see here. Let's get the angle going like this, I suppose. And then I'm going to head off to do a couple fertilizing contracts before I do some harvesting contracts. Fertilizing contracts won't take me too long. I want to collect on them and get them before they get taken away. And then we'll move on. Let's see. Create job. Let's see. We're in. Oh, this is a separated field, so you're only going to do... All right, I'll probably come back and do this section of the field. Let's go ahead, because the fields are not connected, even though it's the same field. Of course, play is going to have fun getting a course for this one. All right, create job, and head that way. Do 2 headlands. Then I'll have to finish up that part of the field myself. This contract here pays about $6 grand, so pretty darn good. It looks like Francesca is going to be in charge of doing that. So just to show you what's going on here on the contract page, I'm going to be doing fertilizing contracts in field 7, 11, and then 23. I can only take 3 contracts at a time. And then the potato harvest is still here. I'll probably take this contract right here for harvesting. It pays $9,200. I will, of course, have to borrow the equipment. And let's see, I'll get paid like $7,000 for the harvesting contract plus whatever extra we get out the field. So that'd be pretty good. But I'm going to hop into the Vultra. I got plenty of fertilizer to get these 3 fertilizing contracts done. But let's get that money going up and up and up and closer to being able to buy our farmyard where the pigs are. 2 fertilizing contracts completed. I haven't collected on them yet. Just driving down to field 23, which will be the next field that need to fertilize, which will not take too long. So let's go ahead and collect on these 2. So about 10 grand. Collect and fertilize, accept. This contract here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I borrow items. All right, so we're all set there. The plowing job is going rather well, almost 60% done, but then we're going to have to go and finish off the other field ourselves. Or the other half of the field, I should say. Yeah, it's not going to take me long to get this fertilizing contract done. But yeah, this series is starting to play a lot just like East Vineland. I did not realize the land around here was as expensive as it is. But once we start getting our own farmland, I don't intend to do a whole lot of contracts. I want to take my time in the series. Don't need to be getting a whole bunch of money here and there. But of course, we do want to grow and progress little by little. It's just that we got to get started. We got to get the money to get the farmyard. Then enough money to put down some greenhouses to get us some income. I'll probably keep changing the crops in the greenhouse if I can keep track of it when it's the best time of year to sell certain crops. Now, as for growing sugar beet in those greenhouses, which I do believe we can, I'm not sure if I want to do it for, making pig food. I could do a couple things with the pigs. We could get ourselves a pig food mixer, or I could just grow the crops and put the grain and the root crops into the feed trough as we harvest it. Could do something like that. But we're a little ways off on that. We need the $250,000 first. But hopefully by the end of today, we'll be somewhere around $200,000, which would be pretty darn good. But this is the time of the year where we're going to get a lot of money from contracts. A lot of fertilizing contracts are up. With the harvesting going on, once the harvest is done, then the farmers may want their fields plowed, which we can do. And I do hope some more harvesting contracts come up here soon, because we have borrowed some items for that one harvesting job. So if other ones come up, I can use that equipment to harvest other fields. And I have seen other fields that are ready for harvest, but there's no contracts up on them yet. All right, so that farmer's happy with his field being fertilized. I don't think artificial fertilizer would work rather well in this field. The fertilizer wouldn't go anywhere. I mean, the crop is as tall as the tractor itself. Oh, we're growing poplar in here. Wow, you just take a couple feet away from the tractor, and it disappears. Let's go ahead and let's collect on this contract here. Perfect. We'll get it out of the field. That way I can find my tractor afterwards. But let's just go down here and park it on up. The one thing about this map that gets me a little bit sometimes is the fences. I don't mind the fences. It's the type of fences, because sometimes you're just going along and the fences, as you can see, can kind of blend in with the crop a little bit. Are you growing poplar over here as well? Poplar over here as well. Okay, so the farmers around here like their poplar apparently. Yeah, but the fence can kind of blend in. So if you go, whoa, hello. If you're going on down the road and you think, oh, this turned into the field, next thing you know, boom, you run into the fence line. We got to go up and finish that plowing contract so we can collect on that. So let's grab our Landini. I wonder why the farmer didn't harvest this crop. Oh well. It could be from when I advanced the months, when the new save game had to take place. That could be taking effect, but if that is the case, I think everything will be squared away once we get through the harvest season, and all the fields will have reset by then. So far, this Landini and this plow have definitely helped us grow on the farm, even though we had to put a lot of expense up for the tractor and the plow. But we needed the tractor and the plow anyways. Oh, the one thing I haven't checked on is the sale page in the last month or so. But I probably should stay away from that, because that'll just make me buy something that we probably do need. But I think it's more important at this stage to start getting ourselves a farmyard. Now, the people I'm renting the mobile home from, they're somewhat okay with me having the 2 tractors and equipment and the pallets of seed hanging around. But I've been advised, like, we got to clean that up at some point. It's all right. We'll be moving soon-ish. Could be by the end of this month, depending on what contracts come up. Yeah, plowing contracts are great now, because I can just set off a worker on the plowing contracts while I go fertilize, or pretty soon go harvest. But the more fields that get harvested right now, the more chances of cultivating and plowing jobs come up. Cultivating jobs I won't mind doing, but we will have to borrow the items. But I'd rather do it when we get a few cultivating jobs showing on up, so I can borrow the items on the biggest field, get the biggest equipment, and then go around and do a whole bunch of contracts there. Now, when I was looking around earlier at the fields, as I said, they're more expensive than I thought they were. I found the first field I would like to buy, but then when I went over, I was confused, because the lot of land I want to buy, that field merges onto another lot of land. So there is a field over on the east side where it's actually on 2 different lots of land. So I'm not sure how that works. And that's the second time my steering wheel, that was me, my steering wheel has disconnected. So getting back to that piece of land over there I was referring to, yeah, I'm not sure how that would work. Because if I buy that piece of land, it's like, well, yeah, you'll buy the piece of land, you can control that part of the field. But since I don't own the other piece of land, will the farmer in that field, when he wants contracts done, will that change my field over? Because it's the same field, but it's on different lots of land. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a moment. I don't know how that would go, but I think it's a piece of land I probably will avoid just because it's on two different lots, and I think the NPC worker may get the whole field changed over. I'm not sure how that works. But there are other pieces of land around that we can buy. I was just looking at that one because it was kind of like in the relatively close area to the farmyard. I don't want to buy the farmyard where it is and buy all the fields down south, because we'll have to keep traveling across the entire map to get there. Of course, when I say across the entire map, it's not far, but it'd be just more convenient if the fields that we first start to purchase are near the farm. But fields around here are expensive. Alright, so hopefully here we'll get job complete soon. And there we go. Contract on field 44 is finished. I will just make this one little more pass right here. And let's go ahead and collect on that one. And slowly but surely, we are getting closer and closer. So yeah, field number 26. Harvesting sorghum. What is the price of sorghum right now? Not that it matters, because wherever I deliver to, well, sorghum is at its worst. I don't have a silo to put the excess in, so we'll just have to sell it as is. Let me bring the Landini back to our mobile home. That way it's parked up. So 182. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to be up at around 200,000 by the end of the episode, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to get that much extra sorghum off the field. Alright, we'll tap on down here. How do the vehicles spawn down here now? Pretty darn good. Oh yeah, if we start seeing some stuttering on the map once in a while, as I'm recording today, which is, today's the 10th? Or whatever, the 9th? Today's the 9th. Yeah. Farming Simulator had an update. So, anytime Farming Simulator has an update, I empty out my shader cache, and because it's going to rewrite all the shaders anyways. Which way is that header trailer going? Of course it's going the other way. So I empty out the shader cache, and then all the shaders have to reload in. So every once in a while you may see some stuttering. I did go around the map a little bit. And when you first load into a map, it almost looks like the game freezes for a second and things load on in. Field number 23. Where is field number 23? No, 23 is where I did the fertilizing contract. Okay, so this is where I gotta deliver the crop. Wait, what field am I going? What field am I harvesting here? 26. All right, so there's 23. So 26 should be down here somewhere, right? 26. All right, how about if I just look for fields that have sorghum into it? 26. Way up here. Ooh, that is a big field. All right, so right next to the field that we just plowed. But while we're here, I'll show you the farmlands. So this is a lot of land with a pig farm, or the pig pen, and the chicken coop. 250,000. So I was over here, I'm like, oh, field number, lot number 36. That only cost 101,000. But this field here is the same as this field here, and they're in different properties. So if I were to buy this, like I was mentioning, and let's say I planted a crop in there, I can only plant it on the part that I own. The rest of the field, which is joined right to this one, it's all one field when you're there. If the NPC worker wants to plow the field, I think it'll plow my field. I'm not sure how that goes, but we'll worry about that at a different date. Let me go ahead. I'm going to get this all set up. Well, at least we get a nice little New Holland. I'm going to bring the grain trailer on up. I'll meet you up there at the field, and we'll start harvesting some sorghum as I wait for this whole line of traffic coming through. It must be rush hour at 9 o'clock in the morning here on American Falls. So much quieter when you're in cab, which is kind of nice, but I thought it would be maybe just a little bit noisier because I'm closer to the vehicle itself. Right, we need to head on down through here. Tractor and trailer are already here. And this won't be a quick harvest. Which I'm okay with, as long as we get paid. But the bigger the field, the better, because the chance of more extra crop coming off it. Probably not the best place to put the trailer, but I guess this is where I'm putting it. Let's go ahead and fire up the combine. And we are harvesting some good old sorghum. Alright, so we got a decent sized header here. So I'm guessing it'll probably take me like maybe a half an hour to get this field combined. I guess that's why they... Okay, maybe the field's a little bit bigger than I thought it was. When it was like this, it didn't seem that big, but as I scroll on up... Okay, maybe 45 minutes to harvest this field. We'll get the harvest done this episode, that's for darn sure. I want to go ahead and collect that. How much are we getting paid for this job here? Contracts. So, I think it was $7,000 by the time we leased the equipment. What else could I use it on? I could do field number 20. That's sorghum as well. Maybe I should grab that before the contract disappears. Where's field number 20? I'm just looking at sorghum. Okay, it's back down here. Yeah, I probably should go ahead and take that contract as well. So, sorghum, accept contract, don't need to borrow items, and we're good. What's this one here? We got flax in field number 19. Is that next to 20? You would think it would be. Oh, yes, it's right here. I'm going to leave that contract there for now, just in case any other contracts come up while I'm doing this one. But, if no other contracts come up, I will take the flax contract and do it. Just because I got the equipment, it's a small field, we'll knock it off. It's an extra $500. It'll kind of offset the leasing costs of the combine and all that. Plus, we'll get some extra. Looks like the sorghum's coming in at a decent rate. Already up to 4,000 liters. I just find it very interesting with the Fendt Ideal combines. When you harvest, the RPMs just go... Doesn't matter what size header you have on them. The RPMs just almost max out all the time. I don't like seeing my RPM meter in the red. I guess that's the way they run. I thought it used to be just because I was using the honeybee headers and I was putting a 60-foot header on these things. But even now you can see the RPMs are just maxing out on it. As for this series here, I'm thinking I'll probably end up using like a John Deere combine, because I haven't used a John Deere combine. Well, we used one on Solyndra. But as for the bigger combines, I haven't used something like that in a while. I mean, we've used New Holland, we've used Kloss, I'm using Case, I've used the Fence before. So I think it's time for a John Deere combine. Yeah, this will probably take me about maybe half an hour or so. And I'll probably do it all myself. I was thinking about hiring a worker, but since I really can't do anything else, if I had like a fertilizing contract showing up or anything like that, I would go ahead and hire a worker to harvest this. And I would go do the fertilizing contracts pretty darn quick. I will say, when you look at the PDA of the map, the fields don't look that big, but then when you're out in the world itself, like this field with a lime spread on it, that's a pretty big field right there. It's a really big field. All right, let me get some of this harvesting done. I shall bring it back, and I'm kind of hoping for a lot of extra crop off this field, and maybe we'll make maybe like 10 to 12 grand in total after doing the contract. Can I get maybe like $5,000 worth of grain off this field? Possibly, but I think that's going to be maybe a little bit too much, because that would be like 15,000 extra liters, and I don't think that's going to happen. Time for a progress update. The big sorghum field, as you look around, you can tell the harvest is complete here. I haven't delivered all the grain yet, so the contract is not complete. This will be the second trailer I brought down to the destination where it needs to go. The first trailer, the first part of the load went towards the other field. So all the grain I need off of field 20 has been delivered to the grain mill already. So if I can complete the contract for this field that we're in, all the grain off the other field will be ours to sell, and I can bring it to anywhere that I want and get top dollar for it. So I'm hoping when I bring this load on down and drop it on in, we'll complete the contract for field number 43, I think it was. And then all the sorghum off field number 20 will be ours. I was going to do those contracts in between episodes, but I kind of want to get up to $200,000 by the end of this episode. Now, the one thing I can't do is I don't want to collect on the contract for the field that we just did, because that is a contract we have leased the combine for. So I want to be able to keep that contract so I can keep the combine, this trailer, the New Holland T8 for any more harvest contracts that could be. Like that one right there. I mean, that field is ready for harvest, but no contract has shown up on it yet. Maybe later on in the afternoon it'll show up. Don't know. All right, fingers crossed that this delivery here will complete the contract up above. And if it does, I'll actually see the money go up, because we've already completed the delivery contract for field number 20. Let's see what this does here. I think it was like 40% done on that field that we were just in, alongside field number 20, like I mentioned. And let's see, field number 26. 84% transported. Okay, that's field number 26. I thought it was 43. Either way, we are very close to delivering all the grain that we need for that contract there. So, careful of this train, because those crossings don't go down until after the train goes through. Yep, time to go harvest field number 20, which is not that big of a field. And once I get that one done, I will go ahead and grab the flax contract in field number 19, I think it is. That is a very small field. So you can see field number 20 as we approach it right now. Yeah, it's going to take me like 4 passes, and I will be done with it. Actually, let me go ahead and park the grain trailer right over here. And we'll jump back into the combine and get this done. So I need another 16% to be delivered to the mill over there, and I'll complete the contract at field number 25, was it? But hey, I don't want to collect on that contract, because I want to be able to keep the combine, like I said, for other harvesting contracts. Actually, if I look at that, we can tell how many fields are ready for harvest here by going here and then just going here. So, yeah, field number 19 will be doing that. 31 is ready. 36, that's the one we just went by. Field number 15, that would be a big contract. Field number 1 would be a huge contract. I'd probably get a bigger header and combine for field number 1. But since I already got this one kind of leased, I'm probably just better off keeping this one right here. All right, let me go ahead and make a few passes here. And then we'll go deliver this grain and see how much we get from the sorghum. Maybe I should just double check to see what the prices are for sorghum. I know I did already, but I wasn't really looking that much closely at it. 48, 65. 365 is the highest price. And I think Falls Grain is where we're delivering it for the contracts anyways. Falls Grain. Yep, that's where we're bringing the grain for the contract anyways. All right, beacons can be turned off because I'm not going up and down the road. Give me about 15 minutes or so, and we will go ahead and get this grain delivered. I can collect on this contract because I didn't borrow nothing for this contract. And then we'll move on to field number 19, which is right through those trees right there. That should take me like 5 or 6 minutes. The row of shame, that's what I'm down to harvesting here at field number 20. One little tiny row of sorghum, but I'm going to gather it. It may be $20 or $30 worth of sorghum, but we're going to go on and grab it. I'm hoping that when we go deliver the sorghum, that we don't have the problem of being short on grain. We had that problem, like what, episode 1 or 2? I think we did like a canola harvest, and we were short on crop. Let's hope that we're not going to be short here. We're not going to be short on field number 20 because that crop has already been delivered from the first field. So I am hoping that there's enough crop here to get the 14% more for field number 25. And then I'm going to quickly go ahead and take that flax contract if it's still there. It's $500 to do the contract. And probably get just a little bit of extra cash for bringing in the grain. So I don't know what 14% of the delivery is needed. Be kind of nice if in the contracts it said, you know, harvest field X and deliver so much grain. It'll tell you how many liters of grain you're going to need off the field to be delivered. Because telling me I'm 86% delivered, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have kept track to see how many liters I brought in, but unfortunately the first trailer, the first part of that trailer went to the field that we just harvested. So I don't know exactly how many liters more I'm going to need. As long as we complete the contracts, I'm okay with it. But it would be nice to get a little bit of extra as well. But we do have 20,000 liters of sorghum in here. I'm going to keep an eye out for that train because I've seen it go through a couple times where the barrier is not going down till after. So I'm just keeping a lookout for it. I'm going to cut in front of traffic because that's the kind of guy I am today. Alright, let's see. We're at basically 182,000. Alright, so we completed the contract, plus we got an additional almost $4,000 from the sorghum. So field number 20, I can collect on that contract. So now I'm kind of waiting for like some plowing contracts to come up as well. But let me go ahead and collect on... Oh, I was ready to say there's a big contract, but that's taters. We don't want to do taters. Field number 20, I want to collect on that one. And yeah, I don't want to collect on this one. You can see that's one we leased on. Field number 19, I will go ahead and accept contract there. That's going to We Buy Anything. Okay. Sounds like one of my sell points that I would have put down. So let me go back over. We'll grab the combine, do a quick little harvest. Where is the We Buy Anything sell point here? Oh, right across the street here. Don't think I've been to that one yet. As you can see, this field here, not that big at all. So let's go ahead and get this harvested. And once I deliver this flax on over to We Buy Anything and collect on that, I will advance time throughout the day and see if any other contracts come up, and then I can accept them and show you what I'll be doing in between episodes, because next episode I would like to be able to be up to the $260,000 mark. That way we can buy our farmyard and then be able to put down maybe a greenhouse or two and then buy a couple pieces of equipment because we will have to fill it with water and fertilizer, and get that process going, and then we can start making some money off those greenhouses. And then, yeah, we're going to have to keep on doing some contracts. And then I'll have to have a really good look around. I think I did decide what field I would start with first. But I think it'll come down to what's in the field when we have the money. I think the field's like $70,000 or $80,000. So not that expensive. Of course, it will be a small field, but we're going to start somewhere. Got to start with the small fields and build our way up. But August and September should be busy months for contracts. We can get a lot of work done. A lot of fertilizing contracts, harvesting contracts, plowing contracts should be coming up. At least with the plowing and fertilizing contracts, we got our own equipment, so we can just go ahead and do them at our pleasure. Plowing contracts, I could just grab the Landini, bring it to the field, and let one of the Franks go ahead and handle it. Fertilizing contracts, I will do those mostly off camera because those are quick and easy money. Harvesting contracts do pay rather well, but I think that first sorghum field took me maybe, I thought it was going to take me a half hour, but I think it was closer to 45 minutes. But in the end, that'll bring us in a decent amount of cash. Now, a small field like this, I do have concerns about having enough flax to be delivered. But if I get like $100 or $200 worth of extra flax, it's something. And if the field's here, there's not other contracts I want to do currently. And if it wasn't right next to this field, I probably wouldn't have done it. Turn that engine off. The one thing I don't know is when you grab equipment for a contract, if you go over 1 hour, I wonder if it charges you more on the leasing fee. Or when you lease equipment for a job, it's just the base price and that's it. I don't know. So we got a whole 2,039 liters off that field. Let's go get this delivered. At least I get to use a T8. Although I do have a TA on Oceanside Forest, and that should bring me to actually to this point if you made it this far in the video. Thanks for watching this far. But Monday, let's see if you're watching this when these videos go live. Monday won't be Oceanside Forest. I believe we'll be right back here on American Falls. And the reason for that, no Oceanside Forest next week at all, I don't think. Because Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday, the premium edition should be coming on out for Farming Simulator 22, and we'll be on the new map with the new crop type, and we'll be doing like a handful of episodes on that, on the beet crop, parsnip, and I can never remember all three. I always get 2 out of the 3, so don't ask me why that is. I'm not really sure where this sell point is. I said it was across the way. Let's see if it's this one right here. I'm going to say it is. Yes, it should be. It should be. Alright, don't blink because it's going to be really, really quick. So we got $144 for the extra crop, so that's not too bad. Let's go into contracts here. Make sure I collect on the small one there alone. And really not much here. I'm surprised this weeding contract is still there. Those weeds are probably mature by now. I'm surprised that would even work. But yeah, that's not really worth it at all. And then, of course, we got the potato harvest and the one we completed, but I don't want to collect on that. Let me go ahead and advance time throughout the day and see what comes up. Oh, look at that. There is a nice combine for sale. But then again, that's... I shouldn't be checking that page at all. One, I don't have the money. And two, yeah, we do need a combine and everything. But that is just not going to help us on out right now. Yeah, so let me advance some time and see what else comes up for the day. Well, all the way to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a couple of cultivating jobs came up. Both for the fields that we harvested. And we do have a fertilizing contract for field number 17. So, of course, I'm going to go ahead and accept that one. That will pay us a nice almost 7 grand. So between those two fields, that's like 14 grand. That will get us up to 200,000. The cultivating jobs, I probably won't do those. I mean, the fields are small, but it's not enough for me to want to go in there and do that. The potato contract is still there. So I'm surprised that the other contracts have not come up. Are they still... Well, the fields still show that they're ready for harvest. What's actually in those fields? That looks like... Is that rye? That is rye. Rye, won't that come up for a contract? And this is oats. And that field is oats. All right. Well, I'll get the fertilizing contract done at least, and I will collect on that. But for now, that is going to be it for today, I do believe. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in American Falls. But until then, have a good one.